Hey girlies, welcome back to another video. Can't wait to do this Peachy Keen Glam. Wait a minute, who's that girl? Alrighty, so we're actually going to prime the eyelids first with some MAC primer, and we're going to go in with almost like a blush color, almost very mauve. Yeah, I think it's more mauve colored base all around the eyes. You're just gonna just blend that all over. And we're just gonna build this up so we can get a nice, beautiful transition color going on. Then from the Nars palette, we're going to get in a slightly darker color. And so just beneath that in the crease, we're now buffing that in. Buffing and blending away. And motions, you just want to go kind of swish motions and then circular motions. Next, right underneath that color, deeper, and we're going to push this into the crease, is a black color. And we're now just pushing that in. And this black color is actually more like it's actually like a very dark brown. It just looks really black, but it's like a very deep, like almost like a black brown. Yeah, I'll say this is like a dark brown. So yeah, we're just gonna push that in right underneath that second transition color into the crease. I'm getting the blend going. The brush, forget the name of the brush, but it's a tapered blending brush, and that just means it's longer and it tapers at the very tail, at the very tip, and so it allows for me to push that into the socket and like really load up that color. I went back into that palette. I'm now getting a cream color that I'm going to lay down as my base. Now there are many ways to do this. I just opted to do a powder rather than a concealer or a cream base. I think I didn't want really any like harsh lines. I also didn't want, like, I'm not trying to do a contour, a cut crease. So I'm going back in that palette. I'm getting like this very rosy peachy metallic color, and so I'm going to pack that right on top. I'm going back in that palette and I'm getting a slight darker color, and then this one's got more of a rosy tone to it, and so again, very metallic-y, um, very much very pigmented, so it's got this really pretty reflective look and shine to it. Next is I'm now going in with a black pencil brush, and I love black liners. Probably my favorite way of like really smoking out an eye is by using a liner. So I'm trying to pull from the outer edge of the corner into the midway into the lid at an angle. And the purpose of that is to kind of like, what I'm trying to do is wing out my eyes, and it gives off that like cat eye feel a little bit. We're trying to line it up just enough to kind of like pull outwards. And so now here I am like blending that liner out, and I'm using that dark brown color that I used earlier, and now I'm just trying to push that into like the outer crease and connect it. I'm going back in with that same blush color, base color that we used, just to kind of buff all of my edges, make sure everything looks clean and blended. Now I'm going in with a slightly lighter color because we're now getting close to highlighting our brows. Here we are with some mascara. Now I'm taking my brush, and I have a habit of doing this. I take my big brush and I start to like put powder on it, and then I start brushing the brows up, almost like I'm doing a placement because I'm getting ready to like prepare to do my brows. This is the concealer. We're highlighting the base before we apply the foundation on top. And I really like this highlighters by NYX. It's pretty much like it's called Golden, and it's super pigmented. It's very gold, very yellow. Some of my undertones are very a mix of that. And so I really like this to be underneath the foundation. I find that I like that kind of look. I don't have to like pack on a lot of concealer on top of my foundation. So this kind of helps me set the base up. So this is just one way of doing it. Now going in with Fenty's Beauty soft, I think it's soft filtered foundation, and I'm applying heavily towards the bottom of my chin. You start at the bottom and then you're going to blend and buff out towards the rest of the skin. Um, I don't recommend like starting from the top and going down to the bottom, because ultimately it's usually the bottom half of your face that needs the most foundation, in my opinion, and then everything else you're just buffing it in. Now going in with Fenty's Beauty's concealer, and now I'm just creating my highlight points on top of the foundation. And I don't really need much of this, as I stated before. Like, I already primed the base with that yellow golden concealer. So this is just to kind of add just more of a highlighted points to my face. Now I'm blending that out. Oddly, I don't know why I'm using this brush, but it's it's just as good. This brush is actually a contour brush. So I just took a contour brush, a clean one, and then because I liked how dense and small it is, so I just started using that to like buff out my concealed areas. Another thing that you may find with me is that I don't use a lot of um, uh, sponges. The only time I'll use a sponge for blending purposes is if I'm really going in to do like very heavier, much heavier coverage. Um, and that's usually like for my night glam type of looks. I did set my under eyes with some yellow banana powder, and now I'm just setting my entire face with an HD
So
powder,
now I'm
which
just
I
going
absolutely love.
to
Okay,
go
time has definitely
ahead
went by.
and
Got a little distracted,
under my eyes,
or a little emergency. So we had
under
to
my
stop,
nose.
and now we're continuing back again. So I'm going right back in
Okay.
with some setting powder underneath my eyes and resetting. And now here is the point where I do these brows. Um, I wish I could
Another
say I
like
had
how I
like a
kind of want
big
my
tip for brows. My biggest suggestion is to create your line from the top and draw out that shape, like the very top shape of that brow that you're
I'm just
looking
running
for, and
lines
then you're just
in an
stroking from the
upward
bottom
motion.
up to be able to fill it in. I find that this is the
True.
best way for me.
You're right.
And I've been doing my brows for several years, so I think that this might work for most people. I definitely will be learning, try to figure out more hacks for you all, and easier tips in case this is
I'm
harder.
gonna
This
do
just
like a
takes
little bit
time and it's
on
just pretty
this
time consuming.
this brush.
I am going in
My
with that
bags on
concealer
both
color I used
sides.
earlier, that Fenty Beauty, and I'm just kind of applying it to a thin flat concealer brush. And we're just going to use this to kind
Let's
of
see.
like clean up a little bit
All
because
right,
we're
I'm
doing
gonna
a little
start
bit of
on
a
this side.
glam,
It's close.
and you know we want some sharpness to the eye. So I want to clean that up with the concealer just a little bit. Notice I start like 3/4 of the way out. Like,
Drag it down.
I think I said that right. Yeah, 3/4 of the
Clean
way
out
out.
those
I
edges.
don't start at the very bridge of the brow. I don't particularly like that highlight look. It's very halo. It's not so much of a highlight. So I do
Clear foundation
recommend
brush.
staying, not going too far into your bridge of your nose. Next, we're doing contour
I'm
on the
just going
cheeks.
to buff it out and soften out those lines.
I have pretty full cheeks. I also, my face shape is a oval. So there are definitely different techniques for this. I always
Yeah.
recommend, like, please find
Push
someone
it into my
who
forehead.
has a similar face shape, to be able to, the way you are able to see how to contour your face shape, because I always feel like our actual face shapes, uh you want to go to the
I like to
expert for
set
that.
my brows.
I'm now setting my brows with that HD powder, and I'm going in with a Nars highlighter. And it's like a very beautiful one too. This one's one of their old school originals. It's very goldy and silverish and super, super pretty. I've had this thing for years and I just will not let it go. We're blending out, blending everything together. Next, I'm going in with some lashes. Now, these are clusters. I'm not the best at clusters, but I actually have learned a new way of doing this. So I definitely plan on doing a video on how to do that.
I look
But
crazy.
it works out all right. It just took some time.
Maybe I'll just do regular lashes next time until I get better at this.
Next, we're going in with some more setting spray all over. And then I'm lining up my lips, thinking I just wanted something kind of on the nude side. I think I initially went in with the lip color first, which is by NYX.
Right in the
It's
center.
their butter gloss, and I realized I
For
did
my
want to highlight I'm sorry, I really did want to conceal. I'm sorry, God, butchering that. I wanted to go back with a liner to give it more depth. And then now we're going in with the eyeliner, and this is a brown, like a chocolate
little
brown
bit of
eyeliner.
that
And then I'm
color
just kind
too.
of blending that in with some powder at the bottom of my lids. And so the two colors I'm using
Put it on
is
the outer.
that chocolate brown. So I'm trying to connect it. And then I go in with that slightly mauve color and I blend
Oh
that
my
out.
gosh.
But this is it. This is the final look, y'all. I hope you like it. Like,
I
it
like it.
took something
It's
out of
so
me for
cute.
sure. This was like a long day gummy, and I took a photo so you guys can
Oh.
see it more in the light, so it's a little brighter.
Very good. I like
Because
it.
my light had
It's
changed
fun.
during that time gap. But yeah, it's came out beautiful.
Bye, y'all.
See y'all later. Bye.